recording.
All right. Cool. Okay, so now I can just talk about whales for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, hit me with the fun whale facts.
All right, all right, all right. Well, starting, did you know that their scientific name is Orcinus orca?
Orcinus, is that... No, that's porcine. I was going to say, is that like pigs? But no, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, I should specify I'm talking about killer whales, orcas, not just all whales.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start with some cool fun facts. Orcas are really odd. They're interestingly odd. Males can be up to 33 feet long and weigh about 22,000 pounds.
Good lord.
Female orcas live up to about 80 years of age, and the oldest one that we know of lived to be over 97. Also, fun fact, orcas are among the only three species on Earth that experience menopause.
Really?
Yeah, that being humans, orcas, and pilot whales.
Does it serve the same function in orcas as it does
So,
humans?
so in orcas, I actually don't know what the specific age they stop breeding is. I believe it's 40 to 50, much like
Okay.
us. But after that, it's very interesting from a behavioral standpoint because old female orcas still remain within their pods and actually take on like a caregiver role where they'll
Oh,
teach younger males how to hunt and basically watch over the younger calves in the pod.
okay.
They are also very fast swimmers. Did you know they can get up to like 33 to 40 miles an hour?
That's fast.
That is very fast, and that lends into their hunting tactics. Because typically, when orcas are hunting other whales or dolphins or sharks or just literally anything in the water that they find, their go-to strategy is to just ram into it. And 22,000 pounds of whale slamming India at 40 miles an hour is a very effective means of stunning prey.
I can't disagree. If anything hit me going that fast, I would certainly be stunned.
They're also divided into a distinct variety known as ecotypes, because even though you have what is essentially the same species of animal all across the globe, they have slight differences in coloration, preferred diet, and even dialect. Like that's another interesting thing is orcas have accents, and like an orca from the northwest coast of America and an orca from like the eastern coast of Greenland would not even be able to understand each other because their calls are that different.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask next is are they able to understand each other despite these differences, but if
It's not
they're that
as
different.
it's not as intricate as like a full like I guess like Mandarin or English or something, but it is believed they have difficulty they would have difficulty communicating back and forth like that.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
hmm Um, gosh, what else was there? Oh yeah, hunting tactics. So, like I said before, they usually just ram into stuff, but they also have varied tactics depending on what they're hunting. You get into the northern hemisphere, like up into the Arctic Circle, where you have orcas going after seals and sea lions. They will take turns peeking out of holes in the ice sheets, looking for seals that are on top of the ice sheets.
Huh.
And then what they'll do is they'll start bumping bumping into the underside of the ice sheet in specific spots to start fracturing it and breaking it away.
Damn.
And they will do this progressively and basically snap off more and more pieces of the ice sheet the seals or sea lions are trapped on until they're on a small, singular, isolated remaining piece. And then one of them will just ram the underside of it and just flip the whole thing over and drop them into the water.
Impressive. They're good at demolition and such.
They are terrifyingly effective and smart hunters. Didn't you go to the west side? You go off the coast of like Oregon and Washington and stuff, and you'll get those. You ever seen those videos of orcas just punting seals into the stratosphere?
Cannot say that I have, but I'm good. I know what I'm going to look up once we're done here.
Yeah, that's a hunting technique that like West Coast American orcas have. They will find like seals or sea lions swimming near the surface of the water, and they will get underneath them, do a flip, and use their tail to slap them like upwards. Oh God, I need to actually look up what the actual proper number is. Uh, let's see. Yeah, upwards of 80 to 100 feet in the air.
Sweet goodness.
And the this is an effective hunting technique because when they land, water is hard, and it usually just hamburgers the seal, to put it lightly.
A lightly hamburgered seal.
Yeah, and then from there, they'll eat the seal, have a nice meal, et cetera, et cetera. They've also been found hunting great whites. In fact, there was a pod of orcas off the coast of California that specifically had a diet of great whites and other sharks, and because I guess they just had a preference for it. Because they ate so many of them that they were actually grinding their teeth down to the gums,
Oh,
eating like trying to bite through the rough skin of these sharks.
yeah, that's not ideal.
Oh yeah, I got to talk about pods real quick. So there are a lot of ecotypes. I have a whole big list here. You got resident orcas, which are North Pacific. You got Biggs orcas, which are another North Pacific type. You got offshore orcas, which are around California and the Bering Sea. You got North Atlantic Type 1. This is what you find around Norway, Iceland, Scotland, etc.
Okay.
Then you got North Atlantic Type 2. They're a bit rarer, and from what I understand, they are just extremely similar to Type 1s, and they live in the same areas, but they have slightly different, I guess, like you could say, cultural footnotes, or
Yeah.
or, or, or slightly different behaviors, I suppose.
Okay.
They're not different enough to make it easy to track them, but just different enough that when you're looking at a bunch of orcas under a microscope, that you can tell the difference.
All right.
When you get into the southern hemisphere, you have Type A. These are they're usually migrating in and out of Antarctic waters and the southern oceans, et cetera, et cetera. You got Type B. These are pack ice orcas. They are the ones that like to poke around and mess with seals. They also have. There's also two types of Type Bs. You got Type B large and you got Type B smalls.
Okay.
Um, and we don't know what Type B smalls eat. We think they eat penguins.
It seems like a good assumption, but that's an assumption I'd make about most whales.
Then you have Type Cs. These are, gosh, what does this say? Rosa sea orcas. They are very small. Only the males get to only about 20 feet long.
Tiny.
They also have a gray and white coloration rather than like a full black color.
Okay.
And then you have Type D. Um, we know next to nothing about Type D except that in the 1950s there was a mass stranding event in New Zealand where just a bunch of these orcas just washed up on the shore and beached themselves.
Oh.
And it is a really rare ecotype. We don't even know if they like what their diet is.
Okay.
But, that's Australia, New Zealand area.
Yeah, they better get their stuff together.
And of course, these are all Orcinus orca, but they're just slightly different, kind of like I guess you could say human beings are.
That makes sense.
Speaking of, oh, hang on, I got to cough real quick. Yeah, sorry.
Very professional. You muted in everything. I didn't do that.
So they have. This is gonna sound silly, but orcas have like fads and memes.
All right. Tell me about an orca fad. Is it like Jinko jeans?
So the first time this was observed was back in 1987, right? And some scientists just doing some basic, like, number counting research observations on some orcapods noted that one particular pod, the younger, like, teen orcas in that pod were popping out of the water, balancing a dead salmon on their snouts for like minutes at a time, and then dipping back into the water, and then another one would do it.
They were playing past the salmon.
I don't, they were just balancing it, and then this was observed for like a month or two, and then it just stopped, and it never happened again.
Okay. Okie dokie.
Um, and another one, this one actually popped up recently. This was 2021 to 2022. Wales off the western coast of Europe, Portugal, Spain, and France. Orcas were just ramming into boats,
Okay. All right.
but but not in like a hunting tactic way. Like this wasn't like clearly malicious or clearly like aggressive behavior. Uh, they would follow small boats that like were like small sailing boats that had their motors on to like go in and out of harbors. And then when they cut their motors off, they would just run up underneath it and ram themselves into the rudder and just snap it off and then puddle off.
Assholes.
So we have no idea what this is. We got 239 different events in which this occurred,
Okay.
but it didn't result in anyone getting hurt or like any sunk vessels. They were just lopping off the rudders. And the general consensus is that yeah, we think this is just a bunch of teen orcas that are just being hooligans.
Okay. We have more in common than I thought.
Another one that's another behavior that's been observed is them just messing with fishermen.
A classic pastime.
They'll pick up crab pots and prawn traps and just move them around and shuffle them about. They don't eat the crabs or the prawns. They're just messing with the cages.
They're playing 3-card Monty. They're playing 3-crab Monty.
Yeah. It is interesting. They are so absurdly intelligent, and it is almost frightening.
I know I'm scared solid.
Oh gosh, how long have I been talking for?
You have been talking for 12 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I think that's enough then.
All right, I'll cut it off here.
All right, cool. Subscribe for more whale facts.
Yeah, whale facts.